place. Good morning, good morning, morning, good morning, morning.
Good morning and welcome to the Tobago Updates Morning Show. I am your host, Jolie St. John, as usual, coming to you from the Port Mall in downtown Scarborough, Tobago. Viewers, we are live this morning. It's Friday, the 14th of August, 2026, and Monday through Thursday of this week, you would have been seeing me as your host alongside special guest youth hosts. So today, I'm here to end a week of celebrations here at Tobago Updates in commemoration of International Youth Day. While all the celebrations have been happening in studio though, we must take the time to recognize you, our viewers, who are joining us from all parts of the world. Those of you viewing us on Digital, Flow, AMPLIA, perhaps you're viewing on Facebook and YouTube. Wherever you are, we want to say good morning. Welcome to the show today. Thank you for choosing Tobago Updates to start your week, to end your week, and to take you through the day. Happy Friday, everyone. Today is Friday. We have come to the end of yet another week, and I know this weekend is highly anticipated. We have a lot happening here on the island of Tobago. We have our annual Great Race as usual, which I'm sure lots of you are going to be making your way down to the west tomorrow and this weekend for. We have also had some back to school preparations already underway, so a lot is happening this week and moving forward for the rest of the month of August. Earlier, I would have mentioned that I'm here to end our Youth Week. I'd like to call it here on Tobago Updates. So each day this week thus far, you would have seen a guest youth host alongside me in commemoration of International Youth Day, which we celebrated on Wednesday the 12th. We would have had discussions centered around the theme, different contexts, common aspirations. We would have spoken about who exactly a youth is, which is a person between the ages of 15 to 24 years as identified by the United Nations. We would have spoken about opportunities that youth must be further afforded here in Trinidad and Tobago and across the globe. And of course, we featured some youths within the Tobago space who are making strides in our society. But before we get any further into any discussions, we must take the time to keep you, the viewers, informed. So at this time, we go to our news in 90 seconds. Viewers, your news in 90 seconds for Friday, 14th August 2026 begins now. Caribbean Airlines has added 1,200 additional seats between Trinidad and Tobago to accommodate passenger demands for the Great Race this weekend. Running from August 14th through 17th, the extra capacity comes on top of over 2,800 additional seats previously announced for August. Tickets are available via Caribbean Airlines website, app, call center, and travel agents. Meanwhile, Tobago police arrested 7 individuals during intelligence-led raids across the Scarborough district. Officers seized nearly 7.4 kilograms of cannabis, recovered an extended firearm magazine, and dismantled an indoor house cultivation setup using UV lights in Morne Quitton. Further operations in Friendsfield and Sanctus Hill yielded additional drug seizures, while 9 sheep tied to a Roxborough larceny report were recovered in Mason Hall. Finally, in sports, Match 4 of the Caribbean Premier League bowls off tonight at 7 p.m. as the St. Lucia Kings take on the Antigua and Barbuda Falcons at the Darren Sammy Cricket Ground. The home side looks to defend their turf as CPL action transitions to St. Lucia, while the Falcons hunt for a crucial away victory. That brings us to the end of our news in 90 seconds. Tune in again at 6:30 p.m. for the full-length newscast. And of course, be sure to head over to Tobago Updates Facebook page to cast your votes in our daily poll. So viewers, as mentioned before, there's a lot happening. This week we also celebrated World Steel Pan Day. On the 11th, we would have had interviews surrounding that as well. And today, we have an event being hosted in Tobago in commemoration of World Steel Pan Day on the Esplanade this evening. So be sure to head down there as well. But of course, in the midst of all these celebrations and these activities in commemoration of these special events happening on our islands in our country, we must celebrate with you, our viewers, as well. So at this time, we go to our birthday segments. First on our list for birthdays this morning, we have Miss here.
Coconut's Cafe, the buffet restaurant that specializes in all your tasty local dishes. For breakfast and for lunch. Breakfast includes coconut bake and sada roti, served with chokers, bull joil, and sausages in tomato sauce. Not forgetting beef and cheese pies, shepherd's pie, macaroni pie, and rice in various styles. Meat served in a variety of flavors, garden salads, and pasta salads. All this accompanied by fruit juices, coconut water, your choice of a great combination to appease your taste buds. So call us today to order, as we are here to accommodate your busy schedules or if you are having a cooking day off.
The Caribbean is more than just a place. It's a spirit, resilient, vibrant, and full of possibility. Rooted in connection, driven by community. It's who we are and the heart of everything we do. For over 150 years, we've been right here, invested in the Caribbean, its people, and its progress. And today, we're going even further. Liberty Business, rooted in the Caribbean, committed to you.
Okay. 335, 336, 337, 338, 339.
Counting on your fingers again. No wonder you lose your business.
Grandpa, thanks for helping me start over.
You not lucky in business, you know. As a child, you tried to sell hog plum. That failed. As a teenager, you and your boyfriend tried to break into the jewelry business. But hey, where that boy end up?
He live in Aruka in the Grove. The golden one.
Oh, child, if you want to get into business, you have to have your financial records intact. But hey, do you know your numbers?
Of course, 62433.
No, child, your numbers, your ratios, your equity ratios. You have a financial handicap.
What?
You need to see somebody about that. Anderson.
Who?
Anderson in Trinidad and Tobago, they offer tax and accounting services. They know about financial management.
Grandpa, I started this business with nothing.
And nothing is what you will end up with unless you call Anderson Services. Here.
Okay, this card is nice.
Yeah.
What's this?
Your rental fee. Have business will pay rent. Hot and groovy in the soca party.
From the reef to the road.
From the reef to the road.
From the reef to the road. Tobago calling. Sweet vibes, sweet wine, everybody falling. We bring the culture straight to you. Tobago.
moving from place to place. Good morning, good morning, morning, good morning, morning.
Viewers, we thank you for staying with Tobago Updates. We do apologize for the technical difficulties, however, we persist. As said before, we're going to go over to our birthday segment at this time. Of course, it's customary that we celebrate with you, our viewers. First on our list this morning, we are celebrating Miss Natoya Davidson. From the entire team here at Tobago Updates, we want to wish you the happiest of birthdays. And the photograph submitted features a beach in the background, so we hope that you live many more years of beach sunrises and sunsets and years filled with love and prosperity. Next on our list, we have Miss Cindy Lord. From us here at Tobago Updates, we want to wish you a happy birthday today. We really hope and pray that you are celebrated in such a fitting way, that you feel loved, appreciated, and that you are showered with gifts and blessings. And our last birthday this morning, but certainly not our least, is Mr. Selwyn Adams. Of course, we want to wish you the happiest of birthdays from us here at Tobago Updates. We hope that today you are celebrated well, that you are perhaps celebrated for the rest of the month if you see fit. We hope that you live a long life filled with prosperity, filled with service, and that God continues to richly bless you. Viewers, that brings us to the end of our birthday segment this morning, but of course that's not the end of the celebrations. We also want to send our greetings and regards to those of you who may be celebrating any other milestone, perhaps an anniversary, a milestone within your families, or within life generally. Every day is a blessing and every day deserves a celebration. For those of you joining as well who may not be feeling your very best or may be battling some unfortunate life circumstances, we at Tobago Updates stand with you as well and explore regards. For those of you who celebrated a birthday today and did not get the opportunity to be shouted out, or perhaps next week and even over the weekend you are celebrating, feel free to send the Tobago Updates a message with the picture and name of the celebrant, and we'll be sure to give you your spotlights. Now, we have gone through a bit thus far for the morning program, the introductory part of our program, but of course we have several interviews in store for you, lots of discussion that you are going to want to stay tuned and look forward to. So at this time we're going to take a trip down or rundown. Our first interview this morning is going to be with Mr. Luke James Trim, no stranger to Tobago Updates, no stranger to the Tobago space, and we're going to be chatting with him about youth excelling in advocacy, politics, and diplomacy. Our second interview this morning is going to be with another youth, no stranger to Tobago, Mr. Amari Douglas. He is a young pan player and he's going to be discussing with us his journey in music and perhaps even giving us a taste of performance. So viewers, we have a lot in store for you, so ensure to stay tuned to Tobago Updates, and remember to share the live, share the live, share the live.
Our world is filled with rhythm. Rhythm that's unapologetic, infectious, timeless. Rhythm is commitment in action. It's how we show up for each other with unrelenting support that goes the distance. Rhythm lives in the tiny beats of our most intimate moments and the seismic roars of our biggest achievements. Rhythm is resilience in motion. So even when things go out of sync, we do what it takes to bring the rhythm back. At Flow, we understand your rhythm because we live it. That's why we're dedicated to building a network as resilient as you, with a team of familiar faces working every day to keep you on beat. You're at the heart of everything we do, and our commitment is to keep your rhythm flowing, no matter what.
ballpark, league, football finals, Buku integrated facility, Saturday the 15th of August, your Shirley Temple will be performing live. Ladies, gather your team, gather your steam, all the family, all the friends, everybody outside. Your mother, look at me walk on my fancy, where you come from, skin it out, let me see if it. All riders, all riders.
The Caribbean is more than just a place. It's a spirit, resilient, vibrant, and full of possibility. It's who we are and the heart of everything we do. For over 150 years, we've been right here, invested in the Caribbean, its people, and its progress. And today, we're going even further. We're deepening our commitment to the region, continuing to invest in the networks, services, and digital solutions that move Caribbean businesses forward. Whether you are a mid-sized business or multinational player, we bring you resilient connectivity, personalized service, and tailored IT solutions, all powered by local teams that truly have your back. We're here to help you navigate challenges, grow, and achieve your goals with practical solutions, reliable networks, and a partnership rooted in trust and your long-term success. Liberty Business, rooted in the Caribbean, committed to you.
Coconut's Cafe, the buffet restaurant that specializes in all your tasty local dishes. For breakfast and for lunch. Breakfast includes coconut bake and sada roti, served with chokers, bull joil, and sausages in tomato sauce. Not forgetting beef and cheese pies, shepherd's pie, macaroni pie, and rice in various styles. Meat served in a variety of flavors, garden salads, and pasta salads. All this accompanied by fruit juices, coconut water, your choice of a great combination to appease your taste buds. So call us today to order, as we are here to accommodate your busy schedules or if you are having a cooking day off.
The Caribbean is more than just a place. It's a spirit, resilient, vibrant, and full of possibility. Rooted in connection, driven by community. It's who we are and the heart of everything we do. For over 150 years, we've been right here, invested in the Caribbean, its people, and its progress. And today, we're going even further. Liberty Business, rooted in the Caribbean, committed to you.
Okay. 335, 336, 337, 338, 339.
Counting on your fingers again. No wonder you lose your business.
Grandpa, thanks for helping me start over.
You not lucky in business, you know. As a child, you tried to sell hog plum. That failed. As a teenager, you and your boyfriend tried to break into the jewelry business. But hey, where that boy end up?
He live in Aruka in the Grove. The golden one.
Oh, child, if you want to get into business, you have to have your financial records intact. But hey, do you know your numbers?
Of course, 62433.
No, child, your numbers, your ratios, your equity ratios. You have a financial handicap.
What?
You need to see somebody about that. Anderson.
Who?
Anderson in Trinidad and Tobago, they offer tax and accounting services. They know about financial management.
Grandpa, I started this business with nothing.
And nothing is what you will end up with unless you call Anderson Services. Here.
Okay, this card is nice.
Yeah.
What's this?
Your rental fee. Have business will pay rent. Hot and groovy in the soca party.
From the reef to the road.
From the reef to the road.
From the reef to the road. Tobago calling. Sweet vibes, sweet wine. Tobago updates, we keeping it true.
Oh gosh, Tobago updates on the screen. Here we go. You're home for October Carnival show. From the big stage shine to the petrol line, we bring Tobago to the world in real time.
Tobago updates, Tobago updates. Carnival 2026, we set the pace, 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 pace. Wave your flag, anywhere you're there, anywhere. Island love, trimming all around you. Yeah. Big king love, on for the rhythm start.
Tobago updates, Caribbean art, Caribbean art, 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 art.
Coming up, Barbados kicks off festival season with Crop Over, where you can live like a local. Moments of discovery and joy during Culinary Month in Antigua and Barbuda. Find that hero within you. As these women of vision share their stories of success. Caribbean Passport TV, your guide what's happening in the region, here on this station.
I will tell anybody with a child with Down syndrome to, search for the children's skills. Don't keep them back. Don't, it's not what you want them to do. You have to see what they are capable of doing and push them, love them, because they are really sweet children. They are beautiful children. They can teach you how to be a better person, a better parent.
Be viewing Caribbean Medical TV on this station.
It's a different type of thing down there. Man, we party till we drop down there. With a lot of pretty girls down there. Down in Tobago.
Welcome to Tobago Glass Supplies Limited, where innovation meets excellence and the service reigns supreme. Our commitment is simple: to provide high-quality, innovative aluminum, vinyl, and glass solutions for both commercial and residential spaces. At TGSL, we don't just meet needs, we exceed expectations. Our range includes the finest aluminum cladding options, setting new standards in durability and style. Driven by our passion to elevate, we aim to be the leading supplier in the Caribbean market while retaining our identity as a family-owned business. Because at Tobago Glass Supplies Limited, it's not just about products. It's about relationships. It's about you. Innovation, quality, service. That's Tobago Glass Supplies Limited.
viewers, as promised, we are back with Amari Douglas, a young pianist here on the island of Tobago. Good morning, Amari, and welcome to Tobago Updates.
Good morning, and thanks for having me.
Tell us, how did your journey in music begin? When did you become a musician, and who inspired you to enter the realm of music?
Well, my journey began at the age of 8 when I played my first panorama, and since then I've just been in the arts. After a while, I ended up in Uptown Fascinators, where I met an amazing arranger, O.J. Richards, and ever since I've been looking up to him and I wanted to be just like him.
And you mentioned O.J., so I'm going to ask you about any other mentors that you have, other persons that you look up to, not just in music but in life generally, perhaps a family member, teachers as well.
Well, I look up to many people because throughout my years playing pan, I've had a lot of mentors and teachers, like my music teacher from school, Miss Davidson, Gerard Balfour, I had Mr. Moore, and a lot more through just from watching and learning on the TV.
And I'm sure with all these mentors, you would have had several opportunities to play at major events on different stages. You would have won a couple competitions, I am sure, as well. So tell the viewers a bit about the highlights along your musical journey.
Well, my first ever performance was the Tobago Star Quest competition, where I had first place alongside Jada George. Since then, my career has taken me to different places. After I competed in the Best Village, the Prime Minister Best Village competition, and I came second. Hopefully, next time they come back in Tobago, I'll be able to take part again. And well, I recently went to Barbados for the Curry Festa. And well, I had a couple small gigs along the way.
So there may be young persons who want to become musicians like yourself, but they may be very skeptical to enter the field full-time. They may not have mentors like you. So I want you to give the young viewers a piece of advice, given that you are an accomplished musician.
Well, my advice is to take risks and just, enjoy what you're doing. Life might give you challenges, but it's always good to try until you get something out of it.
Okay. And viewers, Amari would have given us a bit of his talent to start the interview, so now I'm going to ask him to end the interview with another piece. I'm back with Amari, and I'm going to ask you just one last question. I know I said we were going to bring the interview to a close, but we're going to chat a little bit more. How has playing pan and being involved in music impacted your life? Usually pan and music in general is used as something that positively engages you. So tell us about your journey in pan and how it has positively impacted your life and, made a change for the better.
Well, in the early stages, playing pan, it was just during panorama season, but now it has transitioned to a year-round thing. We recently, Uptown Fascinators recently started back the stateside, so we've been having a lot of gigs around the island. And well, last year I had the opportunity of taking part in Junior Panorama, and I think it was 8 we came, and this year I want to go back with a mindset to come higher. Well,
okay, so tell the viewers what's next for you. There are persons who I'm sure are going to be very interested in your journey and want to see what else you accomplish in this life. So tell them what else you have planned in store, not just for Tobago, but the region internationally.
Well, the first thing on my agenda is Junior Panorama. We plan to start practice next week, Friday, which is the 21st of August. So if anybody out there want to come and run their hand, or they could always call my Uptown Fascinators for juniors. And well, hopefully when results come out, I'll be starting UTT in September. And from there, I'll see where it goes.
Okay, so Amari, thank you for joining us this morning on the Tobago Updates Morning Show. It was a pleasure to host you, and of course the viewers and I, we wish you all the best in your journey, and we look forward to hearing about your success and seeing you back on Tobago Updates in the future.
Much thanks.
Finals, Buku Integrated Facility, Saturday the 15th of August. Your Shirley Temper will be performing live. Ladies, gather your team, gather your steam, all the family, all the friends, everybody outside. Your mother, look at me walk online, fancy where you come from. Skin it out, let me see if it. All riders, all riders.
The Caribbean is more than just a place. It's a spirit, resilient, vibrant, and full of possibility. Rooted in connection, driven by community. It's who we are and the heart of everything we do. For over 150 years, we've been right here, invested in the Caribbean, its people, and its progress. And today, we're going even further. Liberty Business, rooted in the Caribbean, committed to you.
From the reef to the road.
From the reef to the road.
From the reef to the road. Tobago calling. Sweet vibe, sweet wine, everybody falling. We bring the culture straight to you. Tobago updates, we keeping it true.
Oh gosh. Tobago updates. On the screen, there we go. You're home for October, carnival show. From the big stage shine to the rapid roll line. We bring Tobago to the world in real time.
Tobago updates. Tobago updates. Carnival 2026. We said the pace, 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 pace. Wave your flag. Anywhere you're there. Anywhere. Island love, trimming all around you. Yeah. Big thing lock on for the rhythm start.
Tobago updates. Caribbean art. Caribbean art.
The Caribbean is more than just a place. It's a spirit, resilient, vibrant, and full of possibility. It's who we are and the heart of everything we do. For over 150 years, we've been right here, invested in the Caribbean, its people, and its progress. And today, we're going even further. We're deepening our commitment to the region, continuing to invest in the networks, services, and digital solutions that move Caribbean businesses forward. Whether you are a mid-sized business or multinational player, we bring you resilient connectivity, personalized service, and tailored IT solutions, all powered by local teams that truly have your back. We're here to help you navigate challenges, grow, and achieve your goals with practical solutions, reliable networks, and a partnership rooted in trust and your long-term success. Liberty Business, rooted in the Caribbean, committed to you.
Coconut Coconut's Cafe, the buffet restaurant that specializes in all your tasty local dishes. For breakfast and for lunch. Breakfast includes coconut bake and sada roti, served with chokers, bull joil, and sausages in tomato sauce. Not forgetting beef and cheese pies, shepherd's pie, macaroni pie, and rice in various styles. Meat served in a variety of flavors, garden salads, and pasta salads. All this accompanied by fruit juices, coconut water, your choice of a great combination to appease your taste buds. So call us today to order, as we are here to accommodate your busy schedules or if you are having a cooking day off.
Okay. 335, 336, 337, 338, 339.
Counting on your fingers again. No wonder you lose your business.
Grandpa, thanks for helping me start over.
You not lucky in business, you know. As a child, you tried to sell hog plum. That failed. As a teenager, you and your boyfriend tried to break into the jewelry business. But hey, where that boy end up?
He live in Aruka in the Grove. The golden one.
Oh, child, if you want to get into business, you have to have your financial records intact. But hey, do you know your numbers?
Of course, 624 333.
No, child, your numbers, your ratios, your equity ratios. You have a financial handicap.
What?
You need to see somebody about that. Anderson.
Who?
Anderson in Trinidad and Tobago, they offer tax and accounting services. They know about financial management.
Grandpa, I started this business with nothing.
And nothing is what you will end up with unless you call Anderson Services. Here.
Okay, this card is nice.
Yeah.
What's this?
Your rental fee. Have business will pay rent. Hot and groovy in the soca party.
Coming up, Barbados kicks off festival season with Crop Over, where you can live like a local. Moments of discovery and joy during Culinary Month in Antigua and Barbuda. Find that hero within you. As these women of vision share their stories of success, Caribbean Passport TV, your guide to what's happening in the region, here on this station.
I will tell anybody with a child with Down syndrome to, look, search for the children's skill. Don't keep them back. Don't, it's not what you want them to do. You have to see what they are capable of doing and push them, love them, because they are really sweet children. They are beautiful children. They can teach you how to be a better person, a better parent.
Be viewing Caribbean Medical TV on this station.
It's a different type of thing down there. And we party till we drop down there. With a lot of pretty girls down there. Down in Tobago.
Welcome to Tobago Glass Supplies Limited, where innovation meets excellence and the service reigns supreme. Our commitment is simple: to provide high-quality, innovative aluminum, vinyl, and glass solutions for both commercial and residential spaces. At TGSL, we don't just meet needs, we exceed expectations. Our range includes the finest aluminum cladding options, setting new standards in durability and style. Driven by our passion to elevate, we aim to be the leading supplier in the Caribbean market while retaining our identity as a family-owned business. Because at Tobago Glass Supplies Limited, it's not just about products. It's about relationships. It's about you. Innovation, quality, service. That's Tobago Glass Supplies Limited.
point. Airport.
Come back this way. Catch you roundabout and go there.
Right here.
Leave on time to be on time.
Today we are here at the new A&R Robinson International Airport, and we are doing a simulation along with the Airport Authority and the TTPS to do some observation for the traffic plan that we have implemented for the opening of the new terminal building. So starting Wednesday, July 22nd, the Division of Public Infrastructure and Transportation along with the TTPS will be at this intersection, and we will be implementing a traffic plan. Just continue around the circle. What is important in this entire traffic arrangement is that if you are coming from Crown Point, you're coming from the west and you want to go further east than the airport terminal, we advise that you either use Milford Road, go onto Silcotton Trace, and use one of the side streets between Milford Road and Tobago Local Road. All traffic between Kilgwin Bay Road and Gaskin Road will be coming west only. So that is one of the important points that we have to get into our systems as we learn to navigate around the new arrangements at the new A&R Robinson International Terminal going forward. But we want to assure you that we will help you to get used to it. We will circulate information. We will be here at the intersections along with the police while you get used to the arrangement to assist you in circulating and to getting to where you need to go safely and quickly.
Put a smile on your face when you're moving from place to place. Good morning, good morning, morning, good morning, morning.
Hi viewers, welcome back, and thank you so much for staying tuned to the Big Up This Television. We are into the sporting segment, Friday 14th August 2026. Yes, the best segment on a Friday. This morning I have two familiar faces to you guys here in Tobago out of the Buku Ballpark League, or should I say the Buku Sports Club? Buku Sports Club, Buku Ballpark League?
No, Buku
Ballpark. I mean, BC, you wearing so many hats, right? You wearing so many hats, right? But I have Mr. Keegan McCool here, and of course, Mr. NUBC Hall, or should I say Director Hall as well. What I see on the set, we're talking about the Buku Ballpark League. If you're ready for steam, tomorrow is the place to be down at Buku. Yes, Buku is the place to be tomorrow. It's team tomorrow, Makul. I mean, I had you here, what, 2 weeks ago?
Yeah, 2 weeks ago. That was at the beginning of the start of the ballpark league,
Yes.
the grand return, and here we are 2 weeks after.
Yes.
We're nearing the finals. We have one more day, which is tonight,
Right.
of league matches, which gates open from 7:30, and we'll determine who are the second set of finalists to really go forward for tomorrow night. So tomorrow is the grand finals. We start time 7:30. Matches kick off from about 8, and we have a whole cadre of entertainment besides just the night street football. The best night street football in the nation. I could bet on that. NBC, I could bet on that.
I like that. I mean, and you guys have teamed this year, Vibes in the Park. I mean, over the course of the last few weeks, or they say the last few days, you had matches. Tell me about the Vibes in the Park.
Boy, that's just exactly what it is. You know, it has been Vibes in the Park. I mean, just this event is a really near and dear event to my heart that I always express, you know, because it's really about the impact that it has. It's not just about how football tournaments all over. But you see the impact that this have. I mean, last night I called for a penalty shootout for the kids. We had about almost 40 something kids or whatever. But had to accommodate all. You know, so where else would you see kids in the night playing, and they're playing football safely under the supervision of the parents, the grandparents, you know, the guardians, the village. It really brings the village out, and not just the village, but the neighboring villages, all the other communities that come together. It has been vibes, you know, it's giveaways for the spectators. They have been very much engaged. The football quality, it's a nice pedigree day. It's some ballers that you know, some pass ballers that you know what I mean? And some representing for the old school, and we have the new school, so Israel talent and boys been vibes, boy. We have things like last week Friday had a DJ competition which we'll be having again this Friday. So Israel vibes. So if I could tell you a bit about the finals.
Yeah.
Right, so the finals.
Before we get into the final, right, because I like how you mentioned that you had a number of children participating in that penalty shootout.
Yeah.
You mentioned you have some senior players and some upcoming players. And I saw recently on social media where Buku, they have been invited to return to the Tobago Football Association League. And I want to bring in BC here in terms of the Buku Sports Club, because I know BC, you actively, you are championing the cause of so many activities in Buku through the Buku Sports Club. So you have done sailing and all these different things. With respect to the football, the Buku community and into the TFA Football League. I mean, how important, and I mean, in terms of you being there every night and seeing the talent on display from Buku, I mean, you must be delighted that you have you have a catchment area where you can get footballers to represent that Buku football team returning to the Tobago Football Association League.
Well, what I'll say is I think it goes to say a saying that I always say that nothing happens before time, and God does put everything in part, and this happened in just the right time. The right time. Mr. Keelan Muller was willing to take back up the mantle. He got the support from the representative, and here we are seeing the talent. I was happy. We have the sports club have a management team behind it, and we spoke before, and we said, we'd look and see who we see. We're not trying to take any players from nowhere, but we'll go and we'll talk to players, explain to them what is our plan, what we want to do going forward, and it's working well thus far. So for sure, and the Buku Ballpark League, which is for sport entertainment within the village, and the Buku Sport, which covers the sports across the board in the village, we really work hand in hand, because through the Ballpark League, some sponsors that they would get figure would encourage them, try and help the club as well, and we support one another.
Yeah, and this game is played on asphalt, right? And I can tell you, this is where you're going to find some of the most skillful footballers because of the tight space. And you have to wiggle away through difficulties at times. I'm sure you're going to find some very talented young footballers there, BC. Now, back to you, Macaulay. I mean, DJ competition, football competition. Tell me about that.
But it's not just watch. We have also, it's all about the youths, it's all about entertainment, as BC says, it's all about sport and entertainment. So while you come as a spectator, you're watching great football, which is enough. You know what I mean? But then you have added entertainment because the ballpark does do it different. We just do it real different. We have a engaging media unit as well too. We don't have the scores. We don't beat them with that already. We set the trend with that. So we have added entertainment. We had a DJ competition where we have a under 19 selection. They came out last week. They turned up the park like people was like, hey, that was the party basically. them youths are them playing better than some DJs I know who playing professionally.
So how are you judging them? They picking a tune. Well, but they're picking. They have a 5-minute segment.
Well, as normal, you have a spin-off. So basically, you have a certain amount of time to do your juggling and your tunes and your selections and everything. And the skill really depends upon the DJ. And then after that time, you know what I mean? The judges then engage the crowd and so on, and they determine the winner.
So you have a hype man, the DJ have a hype man as well?
Well, no, it have one person, the DJ. One person who is the announcer, and he deals with everybody. So he's sort of moderate. So the DJ really and truly, your tunes are the talk for you.
The next generation of DJs coming through. I like that. Because I'm also told that probably the winner of this DJ competition, they are going to be invited to play with iconic.
So the first place winner will be the gainer $2,000 prize plus opportunity to play with iconic for Tobago Carnival.
Right.
The second place winner, I think, either is I could be misquoted, but I think
but again, something as well.
And they're playing with the other mass band on the road. No. One is for Ganger, so first place is for Ganger, second place is iconic. But so either way is winners.
Anyway, ticket is exactly.
Is winners.
I like that. Okay, so what are some other activities here that we can expect?
On the finals itself, we have our giveaways as always. Major giveaways, and Marcus, what I'm telling you, right? So far for the league. But BC and all want to kick, but we had to ban him because he's in the jersey, right? Yeah, we had to remind him he's a committee member, right? Because he's an original player. And he want to kick and things, so he had to wait. But he want to buy something by Russia. So anyway, right? So I mean, so far for the week since from last week to now, we're giving away things like And all you have to do is come and kick a penalty as a spectator. Once I call you to come down, you come through. You get a weekend getaway for 2 at a guest house. You get lunch or breakfast at Blush and Bloom for 2. You get a reef trip for 6. For the kids, we had access for 2 to Big Dogs. It have the Games Festival that coming up, so we could be giving away tickets for that. It has some other concerts as well. So it had those giveaways, and of course, for the youths and them especially, you know, you gotta have some entertainment temper. Temper gonna be there.
Well, that's why I say
so
steam tomorrow. It's steam tomorrow.
Steam, right?
Them guys want to have funds, man.
So that's what it is. And I mean, is what we had the league open through the whole week, and just for the finals, we just asking a $20 cover charge, which is
so
fair, just $20.
Yeah, man. That's small money.
Just $20. That's small money, and you know it have where we have food and drinks on sale on the inside. We have a whole setup where we have real activities,
So on the screen here, I'm seeing these are the games tonight.
Yeah,
right?
these are the games carded for tonight.
You told me earlier that you know you have 3 teams confirmed for the qualifiers tomorrow. Basically semi-finals. Tell me about the matches tonight and which team here can get into the that final team for tomorrow.
Boy, well, to tell you the truth,
BlackRock
have a good chance.
Yeah.
So technically, the BlackRock stands on 8 points right now.
You know, and BlackRock they won the knockout on the opening night, right? So
and Bethel New Grange is on 5 points, and above average is on 5 points as well. What separates Bethel New Grange and above average is a goal difference. So based on how the scores go tonight, BlackRock could get caught, and well, if they excel, does what they normally do, beat people. Then,
but the Excel qualify for semi-finals, you know, under the team.
So we talking about BlackRock, right? They play BlackRock in the last 6 seconds. Now, boy.
So that was right.
Yeah, it was a steamy match.
So tonight, 3 big matches tonight.
Yeah,
3 big matches tonight.
There's some big matches.
That's really good. But tell me about the 3 teams already in the semi-finals.
Right,
I mean, you give me a breakdown of those teams where they're from and
so we had 2 groups, right? Tonight could be the final of is Group B matches.
Group B numbers.
Yeah, Group B matches.
Right.
So we have Blue Nation, which is is our specialist side youths from I wanna say Ball Blasters.
Okay.
Tati does be down there balling on the sideline and having kicks, you know, coach. So big up Coach Marcel. And big up Wim as always, boy. Wim is always quality.
There's a guy, I can't remember his name right now, boys. Bald head, very slim. Always playing his Boucher is there as well.
Macan playing
I call him small gold champion.
Fellas are champions. Fellas are real quality. A lot of the teams, are real quality. A lot of the teams.
And it's 5 players per team, right? Four players. And that's running subs.
15 minute halves, 5-minute break, running subs.
Yeah. When I came for the opening, there's a guy who, very senior person doing the officiating. That's the only guy doing the matches short?
No, well, we have, for the finals, we're going to have the official and a linesman.
Yeah.
So we're going to have that. And of course, big respect to the Tobago Referees Association for coming out and supporting us. Right. We just do things at a professional level.
I really wanted to mention him. I mean, he looked very senior, but he had some respect. Very stern with his decision. You can't make joke at him at all.
Let me tell you how serious the ballpark has grown to, right?
Yeah.
Look, BC, there, you quiet now. BC make the biggest transfer at the ballpark league. We had a 2-day window to transfer. You could pay to transfer a player from our team.
I like that, man. It doesn't matter how many games the player can transfer.
You have a 2-day window.
Oh, okay.
Pay 100.
You gotta pay. So they pay. So everything it basically follows a professional format in a real nice, enjoyable style. Man, I'm really happy that this thing come back. You can see some of the matches.
Man.
I think guys Bethel New Grange. We have food. We have the food nice. The entertainment nice. Boy, I love the spectators. You know, I mean the spectators make it real nice. Everybody from different walks of life just come together and just bring this thing. And for me personally, bro, when I spin around, sometimes I was behind the mic and I spin around, I just see the kids behind me, bro, and that does just warm my heart now, boy, because it don't really have much safe spaces for kids to enjoy like how we had when we were growing up, you know what I mean? So the ballpark is a place that really creating a lot of incentives to that.
As Makul talk about safe space, something happened that really touched me. And, you know, I could say out of this, outside of the sports entertainment and the sports as a whole, we know our country, you know, highlighted for crime. And I witnessed something with some young men, and then the next day they came and apologized.
Oh yes, boy, but that boy, my pause is real talk.
So they
real talk.
So the team,
real talk, bro.
in being the first time they probably played together in a competition, and you know, as men we'll have little disagreements.
Yeah, tensions run high.
Tensions run little high.
$15,000 up for grabs, you know.
in front of everybody, and the next day the organizer went to them and said, "Here was the scene, gentlemen. Before all the partake, all have to go in front of the crowd as a team and apologize." And in my mind, I was like, this might take a little while. But believe you me,
it was major, boy.
I don't call the team name, but they came together.
But call the team name, boy. Big up Black Rock, boy. Big up Black Rock. Watch that. And the aura that create, because the spectators, the crowd, the whole village, it don't have no space to accommodate out of time.
And you know
the love that was there, it was love. It was real love. It was real love.
That's really good.
So big up Black Rock for that.
Learning experience for them as well. You know, and as I mentioned before, we are playing the football league. It's playing on Baba Green. I mean, I played sport and Baba Green. I know what was still and blues and thing. I mean, I was told that you guys have a medical area as well.
So we have 4 nurses in the medical base. So we really want to just send some love and respect to them. And you know, the support for the league has been excellent. It has been really excellent.
That's a good idea to have the medical. Yeah. This is really a good thing. You don't see this every day in a league. You know, so you guys, I mean, and it's good that you have people with sporting backgrounds in a way. You understand what it takes to manage an event, and then I like the fact that you have a media center as well. So because sometimes the media, you can't attend all the matches. Of course. You want to get updates, and I must say every single day,
we have that.
Scorers.
We have
the scorers. Yeah. And you get the matches to come as well. And before we go, again, let's give us a rundown of what time it starts tomorrow. You know, first match, second match, what is going to happen between, you know.
So before we reach tomorrow, don't forget we have the last league match tonight. So we have Group B matches to pick the final, the second set of semi-finals tonight. The gates open from 7:30. We have 3 hard-hitting matches for you, right? And we have giveaways, of course. So make sure and be the good giveaways. But tomorrow night is all about the grand finals. You know, the gates open from 7:30 again. Just $20 to come in. We have DJ competition. We have Temper performing. We have massive giveaways for the crowd, for the ladies and the women. You know, bring out the kids, bring out the families, bring out everybody. So we're going to have the semi-finals, and then we go straight into the finals later on in the night. So it's just vibes in the park. Is all for $15,000. But just come through, man.
15,000. Let's imagine 4 players per team, $15,000 to divide between 4 players. I mean, you might have a team of 7 or 10 around there, but this is good money. This is good money, and then we into Great Race weekend as well too. And then Sunday, it have so many different things happening over the weekend. So for some young fellas in the community coming together to win $15,000.
That's nice.
You know, and in terms of leading goal scorer, you have anybody out there like 10 goals?
Well, right now we are the tally, you know, but after tonight we can really see. We can decide because what happened.
Leading after week 1 was TJ.
TJ from
which team?
Blue Nation.
From Blue coming down to this Blue Nation play.
Since that night, it's that night when we had about 23 goals in total through the 3 matches, bro. Goal Fest has been our goal fest ever since.
So you were like close to 100 goals in total for the entire tournament.
We probably passed that.
You might pass that.
We could be up there. It could be up there. Games and then 5.
Yeah, we had one 11-2, and even though it's sung that way, it's players hitting the post. No, the players hitting the post, so you just can't score. So you got 11-2, 8 something. So it's now one-sided matches. It's real exciting matches.
I like that. And BC Buko Sports Club. You know, because I saw you have seen me down there playing a little cricket as well. I mean, because everything is now centralized down to Buko, and I like that. I like that drive and that passion that you guys have for sport in the community. I mean, outside of the Buko Paul Park League here, what's next for you guys?
Well, we, as we say, we just got accepted into the TFA, so we just trying to add a bit of structure into that, you know, with our guys who hasn't played football in a while. It's our guys who are not accustomed to structure as well. So we're trying to trying to deal with that. And you know, we gain the support from young people within the community who really not in the sporting line, but they could do the background, do the computer work and that sort of thing. Sent in the application for the to get into the Cricket Association as well. So, you know, we're dealing with that on the next side. And, well, I would say coming soon, I'm speaking to the president of the Sailing Association. So we want to keep a regatta in Buku. Either we keep it in the semi in the rough waters, or we keep it early in the next year. So, So right in short term, that is what we're trying to deal with.
You know what would be a really good event to come back? We used to have this Dragon Boat Festival at Pajampa. That would be a nice thing to get back.
You used to be running that too, right?
Well, yes, with
doing all things, boy.
Yeah, I'll try a little thing.
You know, but you see what we see talking about with people reinvigorating them and getting them back into it is very important because and that's also to the ballpark league playing a really nice stepping stone to getting them back, not in just to football but into all sports. And the thing is now, sport is a discipline, and to be good in sports, you must have discipline. So the ballpark again has been setting the tone of that because BC is a man that played originally in the first set of leagues and stuff like that. So he's a product of the ballpark league. And now he's director Hall. Right. So the thing is now, like even if the teams reach late, you're being penalized for that. So we keep strict discipline within the ballpark. So it sets a tone there and prefaces it now so that you carry that into the other disciplines with a more professional manner and approach.
And they get the buy-in of the community as well because of the sponsors from the community.
This event is the community's event.
You know, I mean, they are seeing McCool, they're seeing Director Hall, other players in the background on the management team. You can shout them out as well.
Of course, we must big up Mr. Campbell. He's he putting everybody together. Bianca, Trinell, Tires.
Big up Tires, well. Big up Tires, yes.
So, and it's just, bro, these just people from Khadija Samuel. And these just people from within the community that coming together, doing it most time out of pocket, engaging people of our goodwill. But that's what the ballpark is about. It wouldn't be good without the spectators. It wouldn't be good without them fellas on the side. It wouldn't be good without the parents or the elders and them just be having a grand time.
Of course.
My pause is, and I really love this event.
And I know you guys have a long list of sponsors. Is it possible that you can?
If I could just shout out the sponsors, I'm going to put on my sponsors voice one time, right? So of course we want to big up the Boku Village Council. Much love and respect. Much love and respect for supporting this. Imagine I'm probably on it, remember, who knows. So big up the Boku Village Council. We have the Division of Youth Empowerment and Sport, Blue Heron Establishment, the Member of Parliament for Tobago West, the Honorable Joel Sampson, Rashad's Men's Store, Mike's Guest House, Jackie Johnson XL, Reef Boss, Blush and Bloom Restaurant, Frankie Tours, Mentor Barbershop, Mentor Cuts Barbershop, Big Dog Skating Rink, Rockside Apartments, DXL Promotions, Heritage Sports, and Stuarty Clear Audio. And of course, within all of that too, we have people who is just fans and spectators that sponsoring too. So we have a man sponsor the man of the match. We have our next guy who could be sponsoring kids, and it's just love that.
So tomorrow you pay $20 to get in, and you can win a heap of prizes as a spectator.
You could win prizes tonight
as well too.
So come tonight, 7:30, and then we back there tomorrow again, 7:30. With your little $20, you come in. You make sure you have other things in your pocket, you have things to eat and drink, and you think it's good.
Let's come in at 20 and 2 and swing, and you'll be taking care of.
Come on.
Fantastic. But you see, while I have you here, I can't allow you to go. And of course, NGBC is a director on the sport company of Trinidad and Tobago. And I saw recently, obviously, in the public domain, we have the situation with SSFL. And I'm told that the sport company would have actually, jumped into so I say save the integrity of the Trinidad and Tobago Secondary Schools Football League, in that the Sport TT, based on what I've seen on media, they are coming on board to fund the travels between Ireland of the teams. Any comment on that? And what can you confirm that's the case?
Well, what I can confirm is that we the chairman or CEO under the good privilege of the minister and prime minister, they did have a conversation with the SSFL league, trying to somewhat mediate what is happening. We all know as Tobagonians, it leaves a sore taste in our mouth, and I could say for sure that the directors there from Tobago really put our hands up. The chairman, he didn't hesitate to start to make phone calls. I think you and I know well that noise on social media doesn't help as much as we're doing the back door. Behind closed doors. So what I can assure us, the citizens of Tobago, is that we 80% there. We 80% there into making sure that things go. What I would really appreciate is that when things go the way that we hope it would go in Jesus' name. That the SSFL now doesn't take it as all right. We just have to cry out and then it's
independent.
I say this, and I hope that every NGB, I hope that every association hears this well. We within ourselves have to help ourselves at some times, and not that you're not dependent on it, but because you and I in the business of sports, and we understand that sometimes we could reach 50%. We could go and see what sponsors we could get, and because we know how it does go. And again, SSFL, we talking about the biggest organization with the biggest following. It's schools you talk about.
Of course.
Children.
Yes.
People who in school, people are children in school. So the help is there. So with our help and with their help, the executive now seeing that it have people to help them. I hope that it comes as a motivation for them to move forward. And the only winner here is the train.
Well, I hope that the Sport TT, right? They reinforce that if it is that you're going to be supporting this year, that they get the house in order for the years to come, because even this year we had a cancellation of the national championship for the primary school track and field, and there was some similar situation in terms of sponsorship as well. And we have people, and I can't say chastise them to say, because they are volunteers, they are teachers and principals on these committees and serving on the committees, and they may not have the expertise to probably write a good proposal to get corporate on board. You understand? But I'm hoping that with the support of the government and the sport team and all these people who are the technical officials, that they can guide them in a particular way so they can get corporate on board. Because again, as you mentioned, it's the biggest entity when it comes to sport in Trinidad and Tobago, the schools, primary, secondary. And I'm happy that the sport TT would have stepped in this time around. But this isn't short term. It's going to happen again next year. And you don't want a situation where they go to social media again and we have a situation where Tobago is going to be 10 years back or 15 years back in that sense, But I thank you so much for that comment. Again, we're looking forward to the Buku Ballpark League starting, the culmination tomorrow, but we have some big matches on tonight from 7:30, right? A spot in the semi-finals at stake for a number of teams, maybe above average. It could probably be what's the Blackrock team?
Yeah, Blackrock.
A number of, so get down there tonight. Giveaways and have food and drinks. Tomorrow is going to be steam tomorrow. And as we have greatest on tomorrow, and of course,
go and watch the boats in the morning.
And then it's night time. Down at Boko tomorrow. Don't forget. You call it the double dog? It's $20. Don't forget the $20 I told tomorrow. We have Temper in the building. I mean, where is he going? What's Temper for $20?
For $20.
And big up the Buku Ballpark League one time and killing on the team. Yes. If the director, of course, can assist me here, I have some other things I want to mention before we close off the program this morning. Again, tomorrow we have the greatest taking place tomorrow. I know a number of boats, or small craft, what they call them, from Tobago. They have made the journey down and they're going to be racing to Tobago tomorrow. All happening from, I'm not sure where they're starting, but they're going to finish at Storby.
Chagaramos.
Yes, they're going to be finishing at Storby tomorrow. And there's the man himself, the defending champion. How many years he's been winning great race? Because 90-mile trek from Trinidad to Tobago, and it's going to start at 7:30, and I'm sure he's going to be in Tobago around 8:30. And I'm sure you guys have seen also with this houseboat, that's what they will call it, in the Storby area. They have made a truck across the floating house, to see what's happening down there at Storby tomorrow. And I also want to commend a youngster from Tobago. Yes, what's the boat house right there? I mean, well, the lotto is 20.2. I could win that. I could buy about 3 at the cent. What a way to live, eh? What a way to live here.
Because sea crafts are very expensive.
Yeah, and to maintain as well. And it's a spectacle. I've been seeing it all over social media. And it's a fun way to live in that sense. I want to congratulate Zaire Macmillan out of the Ball Blasters Club, the lone Tobagonian selected on the national under 14 team. Yeah. And they left last evening for the Dominican Republic, where they're going to be competing in that CFU competition. So big up Zaire one time. Very talented. He's a good cricketer as well, eh? Very good cricketer. I know his parents are very proud of him being selected. The lone Tobagonian. I mean, what are you going to say? At least we have a pick, eh? We have a pick, and I'm wishing him all the best and the team all the best.
Keep pushing.
Yes, in that competition. Yeah. So shout out Coach Marcel and the Ball Blasters Youth Academy, of course, for producing young Macmillan, and I'm wishing him all the best out there. Tomorrow also, Roxpo, me say, I know I like them Roxpo people in a way. They have this thing called Roxpo, me say, community again. They had their ball cricket, they had their football, they had the all fours, and tomorrow they're gonna have a sport and family day. In fact, it's tomorrow. Yes, on tomorrow, Saturday 15 at the Sid Grace Sporting Complex, and they have man like Voice performing there. So for those on the east who not so inclined to come down on the western side, you have something to look forward to tomorrow up there in Roxborough. Roxborough, me say, big up Sally and the team one time. And also we have the Castara Village Football League, or the Yardside League. It's happening, continue to happen up there at Castara tonight. They have a double header tonight with Youths Rebirth taking on Castara Legends and Fearless taking on Rude Boys. So double header tonight in Castara Yardside League. For those interested, they can go and take in that as well. And, I wanted to highlight, of course, Buku being accepted in the Tobago Football Association League. I saw the flyer there as well. Congratulations once again to you guys. And I'm hoping that other communities, they can take a page out of the books of Buku and get on board and getting the community working and of course, participating in meaningful and positive activities. Guys, thank you so much for being here again. And hopefully I'm going to have you guys again back next week with the champion team and their trophy, celebrating, of course, the return of the Buku Bwapali. Guys, this has been the end. In fact, this brings us to the end of the morning sports show. We still have lots in store for you guys here on Tobago Updates Television. Enjoy what you guys are doing this weekend, but of course be safe. So many things happening, but tomorrow it's going to be steam at Buku with Temper and the team. Yes, guys, of course, don't forget to share the live, share the live, share the live. Good morning, Tobago's next.
Tonight we gather not only to celebrate achievement, but also to recognize the collective effort that continues to strengthen workplace safety and health throughout the Assembly. This ceremony serves as the culminating event of the Department's commemorative activities in observance of the International Labour Organization's World Day for Safety and Health at Work 2026. Tonight is especially significant as we celebrate 12 years of the Occupational Safety and Health Department leading these initiatives and hosting the OSHA Awards ceremonies.
Tonight is both a celebration and a call to action. We recognize excellence, commitment, leadership in occupational safety and health, but we also reaffirms a principle that must guide this assembly. Safety is not optional. It is not symbolic, and it is not event-based. It is a legal obligation under the OSHA Act, Chapter 8808. More importantly, it is a leadership responsibility.
was a production of the Department of Information, Office of the Chief Secretary, Tobago House of Assembly.
We realize at TEMA that people need to understand financial planning and how to build their homes. After disaster, a lot of people come to us, and the reason why they come to us is because they didn't build properly for the hazards around them. We had topics such as financial planning, land use, building codes. We had the insurance agents talk about the type of insurance that you really need. And we really thank them for having an excellent presentation today and giving everybody what they need. A lot of questions were asked and they were answered excellently. People who weren't here missed out.
So pretty much what we set out to do, and I think we did so successfully, was to give persons the tools to equip them with readiness for the upcoming hurricane season. That's both financially and the hard facts in terms of what you need to know about your home, what can be done beforehand to secure it, and what can be done after a disaster hits. I think a lot of the messages hit home in terms of it was personal, real life scenario situation, especially Mr. Stewart gave a lot of real life situations in terms of where disasters happen when persons didn't expect it. It doesn't have to be a hurricane or a storm, it could be prolonged rainfall, and that could bring a disaster in certain areas. I think persons would have left with tips and possibly things that they need to do to be ready or to get in a more ready position. And as we said, preparation is your best line of defense, and we want persons to be prepared.
So people need to take disaster resilience and management personally. It is not about the government. Disaster resilience and management is a personal thing. You have to know how to protect you and your family. Your family is the most important thing to your life. I know it's the most important thing to me, and therefore you have to make plans. That's not the insurance agents. Just make plans for your future. Therefore, it's not me insurance. It could be insurance. It could be a plan. It could be having a communication plan, where to go, who to call, because people don't even know that. So just have basic conversations about disaster management to your kids and to your family.
That was a production of the Department of Information, Office of the Chief Secretary, Tobago House of Assembly.
You're viewing Tobago Updates Television, your exclusive gateway to Tobago, broadcasting the beauty of this island paradise to the world.
Viewers, and welcome to GMT. Good morning, Tobago. I am your host, Natalie Seeley Richardson, and I missed you all so much, so it's good to be back this morning. And I must thank Luke, of course, for taking us through the paces on GMT on Fridays in my absence. So, Luke, thank you so much. So this morning we have a packed show. I have a slate of gentlemen to be interviewed, so I'll be in good hands this morning. And as we get right into it, let me introduce our first segment this morning. Is international security assistance a welcomed reinforcement or a red line of national sovereignty? Joining us to break down the Minister of National Security's recent comments regarding the possibility of joint patrols with U.S. security personnel is former police commissioner and former National Security Minister, Captain Gary Griffith, and he joins us this morning.
Good morning to you.
Good morning, and thank you for sharing some time with us this morning as we discuss what we saw coming out in media reports
and what may have been hinted at. And of course, I want to start right there in terms of what implications are there in terms of having foreign security personnel, foreign agencies do joint patrol. Now, we may be accustomed to them working in the background sharing intel, but here we have being hinted, seeing foreign personnel on the ground with our TTPS doing joint patrols. Do you think a precedent, or do you know of a precedent being set for that type of operation? And if not, is something like that going to assist our country at this time?
Sure. Good morning again. When that happens is when the state has actually agreed and accepted the fact that they have totally collapsed, that the state is now unable to provide the proper security required to ensure sovereignty remains intact. So that, for example, that medal you see there, when I was in Haiti, that United Nations peacekeeping medal, that was done because the Haitian government had collapsed and they asked for external assistance. So sometimes you turn a country into a police state, you turn it into martial law, you request the whole country now, that's go past a state of emergency. And that's where we went into Haiti for 6 months under the United Nations mission. That is something totally different. Likewise, the counter-cartel coalition that the United States has, based on certain agreements, it allows some degree of joint operation external of your exclusive economic zone in a country that provides regional security with patrols and so forth in the waters. As it pertains, when it comes to the country itself, to hear the minister make the comment and throw the little parable, he usually plays the riddler and say that, well, it is possible that they might do that, but that is a surprise for you all. He needs to read the law. But this is a sad thing that happens, as I said, when you put a very junior person that has no senior management training to become a minister. Is either he doesn't know or he just wants to mislead the country. A foreign country cannot enter Trinidad and Tobago to be involved in law enforcement operations. They can be involved in intelligence gathering, they could be involved in training, they could be involved in asset provision, because it will violate national sovereignty. The fact of the matter is that there's no statutory police power, statutory police powers that will give them that power of arrest. There is no legal authorization that gives a foreign body any authorization to enter Trinidad and Tobago to be involved in operations. So it cannot happen. And as it pertains to people who may believe it should, there's absolutely no need to do so. We have been able to show that our military and our law enforcement agencies can be second to none. We have seen it a few years ago when public trust and confidence in the police was 60%. We saw it in 2014 when there was the highest reduction in serious crime in 31 years. All of these things were done without a state of emergency that gave you the authority to just lock up everybody, reduce crime, and blow your own trumpet. So to start with, there's no need for U.S. personnel to be attached, but also they do not have the authorization to do so.
Mm-hmm. And you mentioned that there's no legal framework, but can the law be changed to facilitate whether it's U.S. or from another country, foreign security personnel having joint patrols with our TTPS officers?
No, it's impossible. I'll tell you why. I mean, obviously laws could change, but in a situation like that, that is now some aspect that will infringe on your constitutional right to freedom. So something like that will require a special majority. There's absolutely no way that the opposition, I could see that they will agree that we could bring in foreigners now to lock up Trinidad citizens. So it is impossible.
We have also seen in the past the Defense Force doing joint patrols with our police officers, be it Carnival, Christmas, those peak seasons on the islands. How different is it than having foreign security personnel also doing joint patrols with our TTPS in a similar fashion?
Yeah, excellent question. So the difference is in the laws of Trinidad and Tobago, under the Defense Act, Chapter 1401 of the laws of the Republic of Trinidad and Tobago, the Trinidad and Tobago Defense Force has a role and function. Their role and function is not just to deal with external aggression, but also they have the authorization to act as an aid to civil power, which means they have the authorization to work hand in hand with the Trinidad and Tobago Police Service in law enforcement. So even though they do not have powers of arrest, they do have the authorization in the laws of Trinidad and Tobago to support the Trinidad and Tobago Police Service. The external militaries do not have such authority. So it's two totally different things. Where the Trinidad and Tobago Defense Force has that authority because they have that is part of their role and function. But external agencies or companies or organizations, even our international allies, they do not have such authorization.
And if it is the country was to go forth with having foreign security personnel do join TTPS from an operational standpoint, and of course your expertise as former top cop and Minister of National Security, how can something like this work?
It is going to be very difficult because, as I said, when I was in Haiti with the United Nations, that was required. I was responsible for administration, finance, logistics for 300 CARICOM troops for 6 countries for 6 months, and that can only be done if it is that the government has totally collapsed. There's nothing in a framework of governance, and now it is that you have military input externally. So that is not what the situation is here. There is a government. The government has not collapsed, and to start with, anytime you try to change that, as I said, you need a special majority, which the opposition would not accept. Anytime a government decides to put something like that, that is a sign that the government has stated that we do not have the capability to secure our country based on the 7,500 police officers, the 5,000 members of the Defense Force, Customs, Immigration, Fire Services, Prison Service, all the intelligence agencies. We do not have the capability. We have failed the country to provide you with your most fundamental right to safety and security. We're now requesting external agencies to assist us in policing. Anytime a government does that, they're not even going to last until the election. It would have been that the government has failed to provide citizens with their most fundamental right, and they now seek external help to secure a country. So even though you need a special majority, even so, the government, this present government or any government, would not be crazy. That is shooting yourself in the foot literally by stating, we have failed miserably. Our police and our defense force are not good enough, so we require external agencies to now come and work with us in a police post. It's not going to happen.
And when a government hints at having foreign boots on the ground, what does that signal to the people who work on the ground, the TTPS officers?
Of course, it's a demoralizing aspect. It shows that the politicians have no faith in the police service to do their job. It shows that the politicians believe that the Trinidad and Tobago Defense Force is not good enough to do their job. But it also shows that the politician who says that is ignorant in the fact and understanding the law, because the government does not have even the authority to do that unless there's a special majority. So he doesn't understand. You have affected morale. You have totally showed ignorance in understanding the law. And you have shown that what it is you're doing is stating that the Trinidad and Tobago Police Service and the Defense Force are not good enough to do what is required. So his comments, yet again, have been totally uncalled for. It is an embarrassment to the Trinidad and Tobago Police Service and the Trinidad and Tobago Defense Force. I can tell you, our police officers and Defense Force personnel, they travel and go on courses all over the world, and top courses. Many external agencies I have worked with in the United Kingdom, the French forces in the Antilles, the United States, whether it be the Secret Service, whether it be the US forces, our officers, our personnel excel. So let us not be fooled to believe that our police officers and defense force are not good enough, because these are the same police officers that many people are bad talking now, that just for a few years ago, public trust and confidence was 60%. It was the highest in public trust and confidence in any arm of the public service. And these were the same police officers. So it's not because of the officers themselves, but a change in leadership. So the police do have the capability to secure this country. They do not need to increase it to 10,000. The present 7,005. It's on par with among the highest in the world. Likewise, with the number of police posts that we have. We have more police posts in relation to population density than most countries in the world. So it again shows ignorance not by the police, but by the law, by those persons who are in positions of national security.
Mm-hmm. And if my memory serves me right, and I stand to be corrected here, you have questioned in the past joint police and army patrols. And if that is something that may not be seen as effective, what can be implemented therefore to assist with alleviating, what we're going through in terms of crime rates? Because a lot of citizens, you hear they cry that something has to be done. So from where you sit, what can be done then operationally?
Well, I do have to correct you. I have been totally on the push for the defense force to be involved in joint operations with the police.
All right.
I remember I've been in the military for 17 years. I left as an army captain. I was in command of the Defense Force Intelligence Unit. I was the detachment commander of Defense Force headquarters. I've been a platoon commander, a company commander, military attaché to 2 prime ministers and a president. So I know very well the role and function of the defense force. And I can assure you that the defense force are properly trained. The perception here, I remember the last administration, they kept pushing the head that soldiers are just trained to kill. Total ignorance. Goes right back to the United Nations peacekeeping. That's what we were, peacekeeping force. So the defense force has all the capability, the training, and the knowledge to work hand in hand with the police. I think for the last 10 years under the last administration, they refused to utilize those officers to the extent and personnel to the extent that they should. Thankfully, I'm seeing that this administration is willing and able to come forward and have the defense force do their job. We cannot have these 5,000 personnel stay down in camp and just wait for another attempted coup. In times of peace, a military will always have to justify their existence. And their existence can very well be justified now in a situation where we are at a virtual war zone with criminal elements, and the police need that support. Without that support, the police may very well fail. So I have always been very strong on the joint patrols with the defense force working hand in hand with the police. But the problem exists is not the joint patrols. The problem I have is the setting up of police posts. When you have a police post set up just about 2 kilometers from a police station, it is cosmetic, it is ridiculous, but it again exposes the ignorance of even persons throughout many places in our society, inclusive of the Chief Secretary of the THA, for him to make such a ridiculous statement to say, well, we had police posts before, so what's the problem? And it will make us feel safe. It shows that this man has never gone further north or east of Tobago. If it is that Fali had done some homework, you would have understood that we have more police posts and stations to secure 1.4 million than New York City has to secure 8 million. A police post has never and can never be a deterrent or to provide high visibility. A police post is static. Buildings do not protect citizens. It is mobile patrols, it's vehicle patrols. Let me give you an example. Of each police post, the equivalent of officers at any one time for a police post, you could have 4 mobile patrols. Take 4 mobile patrols now, multiply by the 30 police posts, that's 120 extra mobile patrols being lost. When you have 10 divisions, that's 12 extra mobile patrols being lost. So let's look at Tobago. So imagine 12 mobile patrols operating 24 hours a day in Tobago. That would have increased. That would have minimized the response time to distress calls. Less than 5 minutes to distress calls is what we were getting a few years ago because I did that. I had 100 mobile vehicles operating 24 hours a day, inclusive of Tobago. And it meant that when you call 999, immediately, within less than 5 minutes on most occasions, they will respond to your call. A police post is not going to do that. The officers are inside the post. In fact, it actually puts the officers at risk. And so we have seen so many situations where persons have been killed, shot at, robbed, wounded outside police stations. A man got his head blown off 50 meters from the Commissioner of Police residence about 2 years ago. People have been killed outside St. James Police Station and other stations. So the perception that a police post is going to reduce crime, it is ridiculous. It is in total contrast to both Dwayne Gibbs and myself, 21st century policing. What is required is intelligence-driven policing. We need, finally, the type of things that we saw that put public trust and confidence in the police service, the rapid response unit, the emergency response patrol, the community comfort patrol, the highway patrol. All of these things have been dismantled, and that is what is required. People want to see police. When last in Trinidad, if the last 4 years we have not seen a police officer on the road to deal with traffic congestion, or after there's been an accident or a traffic light stuck. And that is the importance of police visibility by utilizing highway patrols and rapid response unit. Without that, police officers sitting on in a station, twiddling their thumbs, waiting for a call is not the answer.
Right, and it's interesting that you should mention that, because one of the concerns of many persons of the public is, of course, that visibility of the TTPS, and maybe that's why some may welcome the hint that foreign security personnel may be joining the TTPS, because there is this belief that enough is not being done. And the question remains, if you see it in other countries where police officers walk around. So if something happens within a certain area, as you mentioned, the response time is, on point, and chances are the perpetrator will be caught or the matter be dealt with, as opposed to
again, as you mentioned, calling the police station, and many citizens have the stories to share. No vehicle, or you call and they said they're on their way, you call back 30 minutes later, still no. So why are we at this stage and not getting into that 21st century policing, or just looking at what works and implementing it?
Because the persons who hold the position of authority in national security and police service as the commissioner, the commissioner of police, he was in charge of 10 men. Now we put him in charge of 7,500. The minister of Homeland Security was involved in a talk show. Now he's responsible for a $6 billion budget with over 100 police stations. They don't know. It's like somebody who's a clerk one that couldn't apply to be promoted to clerk two, but they make them CEO and general manager. They don't have the capability. Nothing against them.
Aren't there the technocrats and the persons trained also to provide support?
No, they're not. They're not. The police service has been one. When I took over the police service, the mold was built in such a way where they felt that everything was cosmetic. Let's set up police posts. Let's set up police stations. That's why Dwayne Gibbs was chased out of town. Dwayne Gibbs brought 21st century policing, and then he was chased. I got a lot of pressure with the police for the same thing. That's why some of them went and padded lies about firearms because they needed me out because I was putting an end to there was $100 million in overtime corruption for that same type of thing. Sit down in a police station, twiddle your thumbs. So we had over 300 officers. Instead of making $12,000 to $15,000 a month, they were making $80,000 a month, lying, saying that they want extra duties. So therein lies the problem. And you see what you just said? It hits the nail on the head. Let me say it for the 200th time to Trinidad and Tobago. A police station is not the avenue to respond to a distress call. Only in a banana republic you think that. So if you all see Chicago PD, you see Blue Bloods. You don't see people in a station, oh, there's a call, somebody got shot, we're going to leave the station and run out. You see the vehicles, they're on the vehicles. But the police officers that we had here, especially the senior ones, as I said, they never went further north of Tobago, they never went further east of Miaro. They didn't understand 21st century policing. What I did was the same thing that Dwayne Gibbs did. I got the officers out of the station. I don't want 10 officers twiddling their thumbs waiting for a distress call. I need two of you all stay there to secure the fort. The other 8 of you all, 4 of you all go on 4 patrols each. Foot patrol, vehicle patrol, high visibility, GPS tracking in the vehicles, making sure they stay in your area of responsibility. So when you get a 999 call, you can immediately respond based on the vehicle in closest proximity. That is what caused a 5-minute or less response. That is what put an end to kidnapping. That's what put an end to home invasion. That's what put an end to extortion. Because the criminals knew that as soon as I could jump over that wall, there's going to be something called, remember, a few moments later. That a few moments later wasn't by guess. It was by technology. It was by using 21st century policing, predictive policing, intelligence-driven policing. All of these things have gone out the window. So Guerrero and Alexander have gone back to the 1970s policing. Let's just set up a police post. But you set up a police post that's 2 kilometers from the station. So the police post is, but we have ignorant people who are in the chambers, the business chambers. We have a chief secretary who is so clueless that he will say, well, we set up a police post that will reduce crime. How? How could that reduce crime? The more police posts, the more police officers have to man the post, which is less police officers out in the ground in mobile vehicles to be able to adhere to a distress call. Farley Augustin has made a total fool of himself, and it shows his ignorance in understanding law enforcement. He needs to stay in his lane and understand law enforcement from a professional level and not just blindly supporting the UNC whenever they talk.
You would have shared, looking at what the Minister of National Security would have hinted at, you would have shared how it cannot work. But if you are given the opportunity, and many times, we share in public forums, what can really be done? What do you see as working operationally to really alleviate the crime rate, reduce it? We spoke about 21st century policing. Just share with us some solutions to what we're going through, what we are seeing and experiencing as citizens.
Yeah, well, again, and that is the point. What I did as Commissioner of Police, every single week for 3 years, there was a new policy, unit, system, program, technology. And that's what the country wants to see. So far for the last year, all that we've seen is state of emergency and setting up police posts, because the 2 individuals do not have that ability from an international perspective to understand 21st century policing as Dwayne Gibbs did and what I provided. So for example, every week I would set up every Wednesday establish the Special Operation Response Team, the Gender-Based Violence Unit, the National Operations Center, the Commissioner's Command Center, the Operational Command Center, GPS tracking on vehicles, body cameras. Notice, you could spend tens of millions to set up police posts, but up to now you can't get one body camera for the police. Tasers, pepper spray, changing uniform, public relation training for officers, customer service training, having a theater for officers to understand minimum use of force policy, GPS tracking on the vehicles, rapid response unit, emergency response patrol, highway patrol, community comfort patrol. I could go on and on all day because every week I was trying to put a new system, new unit, new technology. It lifted the performance of the police officers. We utilized technology such as online reporting, using a police app, which was the largest app in the country, getting people you could press a SOS and the police will respond. You have a problem, you call the commissioner directly if police officers abuse their authority, and I will pull in the police officers. That is what caused 60% public trust and confidence, and now it is less than 8%. And above all, finally, removing the perception of setting up a police post every single street corner. That there's a saying in cricket, that's setting field for bad bowling. So every time there's a crime, put a police post there. The police, and when you hear businessmen or the chamber, well, like they want to please the government, probably to get contracts or whatever, but it shows their ignorance. When you go to New York, Miami, London, Boston, LA, how many times you see a police station? They don't set up a police station to be cosmetic, to let the gullible voters know, look at police station there, the government is working. Look at police post set up, the government is working. These are educated people. So we have stupid people here who believe I set up a police post and make him feel safe. It cannot make you feel safe. What makes you feel safe is knowing that if you call 999, in less than 5 minutes, somebody jumps over your wall, there will be a few moments later. So by the time they jump back over the wall, they will either be arrested or they'll be treated as a strainer. That is how you deal with it. That is how you put the pressure onto the criminals. You provide the deterrent. You provide the high visibility. You provide the rapid response. It does not happen with the setting up of police posts. So I just gave you in a nutshell. This is what is required to transform the police service, which is what we did. Systems of good leadership, accountability, management, and measuring performance. Putting up police posts to impress persons who vote and to probably assist people who might have financed your party, or to try to influence business chamber to say, yes, we're glad things are being done. It shows why we're in the state we're in right now.
Mm-hmm. And of course, our time is just about up. I want to thank you so much for joining us this morning and for sharing and enlightening many of our viewers on what we would have heard hinted at by the Minister of National Security. And please give your family our regards from Tobago Updates Television.
My pleasure. Take care.
Viewers, I hope you were paying attention. I know many of you have your own opinions, your concerns on this matter as well. And we always encourage you not just to take the sound bites or headlines you may hear or see, but really do some reading and investigation on your own for a better understanding. And of course, Tobago Updates Television is here to help you with that as we interview experts and persons who can speak to these topics. We go for a quick break and we remind you to share the live, share the live, share the live.
People in the sun, we are beaches, we are rivers, we are melanated.
I will tell anybody with a child with Down syndrome to, look, search for the children's skill. Don't keep them back. Don't, it's not what you want them to do. You have to see what they are capable of doing and push them, love them, because they are really sweet children. They are beautiful children. They can teach you how to be a better person, a better parent.
Be viewing Caribbean Medical TV on this station.
Welcome to Tobago Glass Supplies Limited, where innovation meets excellence and the service reigns supreme. Our commitment is simple: to provide high-quality, innovative aluminum, vinyl, and glass solutions for both commercial and residential spaces. At TGSL, we don't just meet needs, we exceed expectations. Our range includes the finest aluminum cladding options, setting new standards in durability and style. Driven by our passion to elevate, we aim to be the leading supplier in the Caribbean market while retaining our identity as a family-owned business. Because at Tobago Glass Supplies Limited, it's not just about products. It's about relationships, it's about you. Innovation, quality, service. That's Tobago Glass Supplies Limited.
Welcome back, viewers, and thank you for staying with us. And if you are now joining us, thank you for joining us. Sitting with me this morning is Luke James Trim. He's usually in my seat interviewing and asking the questions, but I have the opportunity to sit and ask him the questions this morning. Luke, good morning and welcome.
Good morning, Natalie. Good morning, Tobago. Thank you so much for having me this morning. It's very strange when you have to switch the roles.
Yes, yes. It's going to be quite interesting. And I now realize, as I'm seeing us on screen as well, our color coordination.
Oh, we are coordinating.
We are on point this morning. Yes. And of course, viewers, if you are just familiar with Luke as one of our hosts, he started off, of course, on Youth Wednesdays, and he's always around and available to support the team here. He is also the outgoing CARICOM Youth Ambassador, representing not just the Caribbean, but always making sure that Tobago has a voice. So, Luke, I want to start off by asking you, how did you get involved and eventually, because we know you have been a youth advocate involved in Youth Parliament, but where exactly did that journey start for you to sit as CARICOM Youth Ambassador?
Well, Natalie, I think an interesting place for us to begin is from little Luke in primary school. You know, going through my primary school, high school journey, I've always observed that people have given me the honor to lead them. You know, sometimes like, Luke, are we going to sit down and have lunch? What game are we going to play today?
Right.
People always, you know, respected me enough to be a leader. But as I went through my high school journey, you know, going to an institution where you're supposed to be, I don't know what's the word I want to use, but follow certain rules. I was very outspoken, I was very radical, and the thing about me, Natalie, is that me and injustice can't have. So when I saw injustice, I would have reacted to it. I would have said, I don't accept this, this is not right. And then when you go through a period of your life where everyone chastises you for being outspoken, it makes you really question if leadership is your journey. And as I got older and I got more mature, I realized that back then, even though the how was the issue, the why was always why people always resonated to me. And so I got into, you know, media advocacy, and from there, you know, I got involved right here at Tobago Updates, you know, sometimes helping my friends from other Caribbean islands who are in youth leadership, where it comes down to probably writing scripts, probably, you know, helping them shift a narrative in the news and so on. They would have reached out to me, and there's where it started. And when I saw the position, were my friends that sent me the flyer every interview. I got the call, and the rest is history.
And for those interested in knowing more about what a youth ambassador does, and in specifically in your case, a CARICOM youth ambassador, share with us some of your responsibilities and some of the highlights of being in that position.
So within the youth space, we have different positions and different levels, and a CARICOM youth ambassador is probably one of the highest levels within the region. And so you are expected to be the brand ambassador for regional integration, and more specifically how you can get young persons like yourself involved in that integration movement, because there are so many opportunities available to us through CARICOM. So now and then you may have to travel, you may have to shake hands with heads of government such as me and Motley. I remember when we were in Antigua, we got to meet former Prime Minister Ralph Gonsalves, Deacon Mitchell. All of these people are people you're supposed to sit down with and let them know, hey, these are the issues plaguing the youth within the region and we need your help. This is what we would like to execute and we expect you to, you know, assist us. But Natalie, when I started my journey, I realized that when I'm entering these rooms that Tobago was absent. People will refer to me as being from Trinidad only. Every time you hear it in the conversation, it's Trinidad, and I had to explain to them, listen, I'm actually from the smaller island.
Right.
We have a perspective, we have a history, we have a culture that needs to be ventilated in these conversations. And we saw how the world zoned in on us when we had that oil spill situation, and people finally understood that while we are two islands, we are one country. Tobago has a very unique context that needs to be addressed. And Natalie, serving as a CARICOM youth ambassador who would have chosen a Tobago perspective, it was difficult. Because as a Tobagonian, you're supposed to play this role. You're supposed to play the supporting actor, supporting actress. You know, smile, wave, go home. So when they issue the media report, they can say, yes, we had the Tobago's perspective. A Tobagonian will say, but that's not the reality.
Right.
So it was very difficult when I started as a CARICOM youth ambassador to really cement myself and to really get the respect that I wanted from people, because as a Tobagonian, you're supposed to be silent. You're not supposed to speak. You're just there for the optics, and that's it. And as the years went by, Natalie, I got the respect. I started fighting more. People started understanding that this is someone who is just passionate about where he comes from, and therefore we need to give him the respect that he deserves.
I want to also, go back on what you mentioned earlier. You spoke about being radical and later on realizing that maybe the how may not have always been correct, but the why was always, the driving point. How do you encourage not just young people, but even grown folks, sometimes who may pick up a cause and, they may see themselves as being radical, or, some people like to express themselves, I'm not taking that or doing this. How important is the how? Yes, the why is always, the motive is the driving force, but how important is the how in terms of when you really want to be heard and get that respect?
The how is very important, and I can speak about this from my lived experience, especially, going through high school. Sometimes you may feel disrespected, or you may not, accept a certain part that was taken by someone else, and your first thing is to be aggressive or to be rough or to be disrespectful and make personal attacks. But at the end of the day, that you have to realize that the same way you are a human being, other people are human beings also. And advocacy especially does not require you to always be loud or aggressive or fighter. I think when people hear advocacy, they think protests, they think placards, they think, let me make noise. And especially as a Tobagonian, you need to be very careful, not leading into those stereotypes. Because when you enter certain contexts, Natalie, when you don't fit the typical Tobagonian, and I think that's something I have seen during my entire journey, they will have to find other ways to describe you, to, fight you down. For example, Natalie, if you go to Trinidad, you will see people spending close to 500 TT to go at Caroni to see those beautiful birds, the scarlet ibis.
Yes.
And back home here in Tobago, the bird that represents us is the black, ugly, noisy cockricoat. That's a pest, by the way.
Right.
And, no one pays to see the cockricoat, Natalie. And I think there's plenty talk I'm giving people this morning. No one pays to see the cockricoat.
Right.
And we see that quote, intimated in the way we had to beg for money for budget. Tobago has always have to be begging and on our knees and asking, and I think if we really want to have that respect, it starts nationally. It starts from the way Trinidadians view us. And, Natalie, when I went through my UE life, the compliments I got were very questionable. You're so well spoken for a Tobagonian. You're so educated for a Tobagonian. You're so good looking for a Tobagonian. You from Tobago, Luke? I don't find you fit the typical Tobagonian. And so when you sit down and realize those issues and think, how am I going to advocate now for respect? I can't be loud or aggressive. I had to be very strategic. I had to be very intentional with what I said and the words I used. And honoring your how always makes the why more impactful.
And again, for those who are listening on, our viewers, and for the young persons in particular who may want to get involved in youth advocacy, where's a good place for them to start?
A good place to start is with yourself. I think too often young people, when they look at youth advocacy, they always try to mirror what they see other people doing. Okay, well, if he's talking about this issue, I'm going to talk about it too. But sometimes when you realize who you are and your personality and what your passion are, you will realize that your trajectory through the youth space is really gonna climax because you understand what you want to speak about, you are passionate what you are speaking about, and most importantly, you are being authentic and true to yourself. And actually, when I fought to establish the Tobago Students Association, I wasn't expecting anybody to really resonate with that because this is something they didn't want within the Trinidad context. This is something that they described as a threat to the national unity. But because I was able to translate my authenticity so well to the other people, and also when I did my whole media campaign, I realized that when you really operate from a true self, then people are really going to listen to you. They're going to appreciate what you are doing, and most importantly, you are going to get that support that you really need. So my advice to young people is when you're getting into advocacy, be yourself. Be you. The parts of your personality that people chastise, look at it from a different perspective and see how you can capitalize on that. Are you talkative? Are you someone who is an individual thinker? Again, you don't take telling from nobody. These are the traits that can really make you a strong youth leader within your space, and you really need to tap into that.
Now, you would have given your farewell address last evening, I believe. Yes. What was the emotions like knowing that you're exiting? And after you answer that, I must ask, what's next for Luke?
Sure, Natalie. When I made the announcement initially, because I found that it was so fitting for me to give my farewell speech during, International Youth Day, when the announcement came out and the media started picking it up, my phone was just text calls, and they was like, Luke, why? This is so sad. Oh God, stay longer. I was like, I can't stay any longer. I was given a tell for 2 years. I got an extension based on my performance for an extra year.
Right.
And that's the beauty about leadership, learning when to let go. And naturally, the emotions I felt like this was the end of an era to make space for a new one. And, I felt proud. I felt honored to have been given the opportunity to serve not just Trinidad and Tobago, but also my island. And, I just feel like this was a journey that really shapes me into who I am today. As I wrap up this Tobago advocacy within the regional and international spaces, I think now I'm going to just focus on my legal advocacy because, I am pursuing my bachelor's in law. And, I just want to explore the ways I can, understand and appreciate our legal systems and bring something back home here to Tobago.
Well, viewers, you heard it from Luke. What's next for him? And we wish you, all God's blessings, and may you continue to excel. And of course, keep that Tobago representation flying high and letting people know, yes, I am Tobagonian.
Correct.
Viewers, we ask you to stay with us this morning. We have one more guest, and who will be joining us virtually, something very important, not just for Tobago, but Trinidad as well. But we look at the Tobago situation in particular. So I ask you to share the live, share the live, share the live.
It's a brand new morning, rise up to a brand new dawning. As the passion start to rise, the energy fill the skies. I say
Coconut's Cafe, the buffet restaurant that specializes in all your tasty local dishes. For breakfast and for lunch. Breakfast includes coconut bake and sada roti, served with chokers, bull joil, and sausages in tomato sauce. Not forgetting beef and cheese pies, shepherd's pie, macaroni pie, and rice in various styles. Meat served in a variety of flavors, garden salads, and pasta salads. All this accompanied by fruit juices, coconut water, your choice of a great combination to appease your taste buds. So call us today to order, as we are here to accommodate your busy schedules, or if you are having a cooking day off.
Ballpark League Football Finals, Buku Integrated Facility, Saturday the 15th of August. Your Shirley Temper will be performing live. Ladies, gather your team, gather your steam, all the family, all the friends, everybody outside. Your mother, look at Miss Walker, my fancy, where you come from. Skin it out, let me see if it. All riders, all riders.
And I have never, ever tried anything from the dirt oven. Let's go to the backyard dirt oven on a Thursday. Here now, talk about authentic. On entry, I felt at home. I felt like I was going to visit my loving grandmother on a weekend. The kind of weekend where she showers you with love, stories, and food. This place is a home away from home. And just like I would do at home, I pop the question, what you had to eat day? And boom, coconut drops. Boom, bread. Boom, garlic bread. Boom, hops. Boom, coconut tart. Boom, jam tart. And boom, something they call nuts. And just like that, Mistress Baker was ready to pop them in the oven. And don't worry, she had some help. And while we was waiting, I said, let me hear from Mistress Baker herself.
Well, we've been operating for a couple of years now. We started, this was a COVID project. We operate strictly on Tuesdays. Tuesdays only. You don't keep stock. We only sell on Tuesdays.
Such a sweet lady. Hey, AMPLIA, it's ready. When last you see a nice golden brown bread, sir? Backyard bakery for the win. AMPLIA, a GT. I finally get me the oven bread with a little extra goodies on the side. You might be asking, where they're located? They are located on Bukuru, right on Nightingale Avenue, right before Racetrack Wheels if you're coming from town. Just look for the green hedge. You can't miss it. Pause. Check out the menu day one time. Honestly, guys, this is an experience I will never forget. It's a home away from home, a place filled with love, life, and most importantly, good bread.
Welcome back, viewers. Joining me virtually is the president of Tutor, Mr. Crystal Ash. Good morning, sir, and welcome to Tobago Updates Television. Let's just see if Mr. Ash is hearing me loud and clear this morning. Sorted out. Yesterday evening, Tutor held their town hall meeting virtually for all its members, and of course on the agenda was the salary agreement 2020-2023. And Mr. Ash will be sharing some of the insights to that meeting. Mr. Ash, good morning. Are you hearing me now? I'm not sure if he's hearing me. I don't think he is because I'm getting no response. So while we get that sorted out once more. No, I think he was just saying something. Let's try that again. Yes, are you hearing me, Mr. Ash? Okay, so I think we have some connectivity issues. So Tutor held its town hall meeting yesterday evening, and of course they were discussing salary agreement for the period 2020 to 2023. We know that it's something you always see in the public sector where salary negotiations or agreements are always being placed on the table, and it's always for previous years. In some cases, it seems to be very far off from the current dates, and it would be interesting to know how that discussion went and what are the views and what Tutor has to say coming out of that. We know that we often see Tutor coming into play representing teachers, of course, not just for salary negotiations, but they provide professional development and support to the teachers in Trinidad and Tobago. So while we get that sorted out, and we'll come back, and I do hope we get it sorted out so we can be updated by Mr. Ash, the Tutor president. A lot is going on in Tobago this weekend. It is July, August, so it's being called Java. Some people refer to it as summer. I like to say July, August holidays, right? That time when school is out and a lot of activities on the island. I always say I would love to see more family-oriented activities as well. We do have a lot of our visiting friends and family from our sister isle, Trinidad, who is coming to appreciate what we have here at Tobago every single day. So that's a little hint to those of us who live here. Appreciate our island more, take care of it, be patriotic, be invested in it so that we can continue to have people love our island and just come and enjoy it. So I believe we do have Mr. Ash on a fall, so we'll interview him at this time. Mr. Ash, good morning. Are you hearing me now?
Good morning, ma'am. Yes, I am. I'm hearing you.
Okay, so
hoping that you're hearing me as well.
Yes, loud and clear, right? So let me reintroduce you because you are hearing us now. So joining me now via phone call is Mr. Crystal Ash, tutor president, and we will speak to the town hall meeting held last evening where, as I mentioned earlier, discussions took place within the tutor membership for the period 2020 to the 23 salary agreement. So again, welcome, Mr. Ash, and we are glad that we can hear you and we can continue this discussion. And let's start off. Let me ask you, how was the turnout for that meeting last evening?
Right, so thank you for the opportunity and morning to everyone again, especially those persons in beautiful Cecile, Tobago. Yeah, the town hall meeting yesterday held by tutor, we had approximately 460-something or 70-something persons, close to 500 persons in attendance. It was not limited to only members of tutor, but all persons who were interested would have been afforded the opportunity to join and be present and even stake their input and so on. So if it is that they had issues in relation to teaching matters, not limited to the salary agreement alone, they got an opportunity to share such concerns. Tutors executive, the national officers, we took a decision that we needed to make sure that our membership, the wider community as well, they were updated. So hence the reason for the town hall meeting. We took the opportunity to bring us, to let them know how we came to this point. So we did a PowerPoint presentation enlightening all present how and why we are at this point and how it has taken so long, because 15 months later after signing an agreement, we are still no closer to saying, listen, you're going to get your back pay at the end of August. We cannot say that at this point in time because the Minister of Finance has not, as far as we are aware, he has not released the funds to pay teachers to ensure that they get their money. Now, the information coming from the Ministry of Education is that the money calculation part of it, the calculation and the auditing part of it, that has already been completed 100%. So all our educators, both in Trinidad and Tobago, all the calculations would have been completed. They know exactly how much they have to get. There's a legal auditing part section of it. They have also completed that. All they are waiting for is a release from the Minister of Finance to say, listen, teachers, the money that is owed to you, that was promised to you, that was signed on the dotted line, here it is.
All right, so let me just interrupt you a bit because I want to make sure that I'm following and also our viewers are following.
Of course.
So this salary agreement in terms of paperwork and the legal requirements, etc., has been done.
Yes. As far as tutor was informed at our last meeting with the Ministry of Education, because we meet with the Ministry of Education on a monthly basis,
right?
The permanent secretary.
So
they would have informed us because they have,
The issue is the actual disbursement of the funds now. That's where you are now.
Well, no, the issue is actual the instruction from the Minister of Finance to the Ministry of Education to release the money, because Mr. Tanko is the one charged with responsibility for releasing the funds to giving the money to the Ministry of Education. Yeah.
Right. And let me ask, because it's something we see not just with the teaching fraternity, but you see it in most of public sector, where these salary agreements or negotiations, the periods for which they are seem to be very far from the current period. Why is that so?
Part of the reason for that is, I guess, lack of communication and a bit of tardiness on the part of the employer. I would put it squarely on the employer, because tutor, I'll give you our example. We would normally submit our documents on time. Everything would be in place. This is when they decide that they would meet with us and they have to give us a counter proposal. So they have to take their time, go through the chief personnel. It will be submitted to the employer. And the person who represents the employer is Commander Dr. Daryl Dindial. He's the chief personnel officer. And he has to go through all the documents from all the different unions. And he would give us a response. Tutor now would read his response, we would do a proposal if we agree with certain things, if we do not agree with certain things, if we believe certain things should be enhanced, and hence the reason. But what are the biggest challenges with this thing is that by the time they give you your money, Natalie, we see that the purchasing power of your dollar, what it would have been a year ago, is no longer that.
Right.
But when it comes to the taxes, they don't mix with the taxes. They ensure that they get the taxes. So the government ensures that whatever revenue they have to derive through the taxation, they get it. However, the persons, the actual average on the ground, the average Trinbagonian, you are not able to purchase the items that you would have purchased a year ago.
Right.
And it is a fact. It is a fact.
And that's why I asked to Mr. Ash in terms of when we see these salary negotiations being done in the public sector, the periods are often, sometime in the past, and not just like a year or two, but years in the past, when you look at where we are today. And I know that many of the employees of the public sector, that is always concerns when salary negotiations are happening for prior years or years gone by, that purchasing power is, of course, lost. Now, coming out of your town hall meeting as well, I am sure discussions would have taken place in terms of what's the next step for tutor. So now you are waiting on the authorization from the Ministry of Finance to go to the Ministry of Education. Was a timeline set by tutor in terms of, okay, if it's not done within this time, this is our action? Can you share with us?
Yes, I can share with you. The town hall meeting, the purpose of the town hall meeting is a center for discussion.
Right.
No decision. Tutor has a particular structure as a well-rounded and a well-groomed, put-together organization. We have a specific structure. So our structure doesn't allow us to make decisions at that point in time. So the purpose of the town hall meeting was for discussion, to hear what the membership have to say, to hear what persons have to say, to share our pieces of information with them. And the body that will make the decision, or the final decision, or the decision moving forward, will be Tutor's General Council. That is made up of representatives from every district, including Tobago, on that General Council. And that body would be the body to decide, listen, this is the way forward. So we had quite a number of ideas coming out. We had ideas, and all lawful, let me make sure and add that, all lawful ideas coming out about what we should do. Some of them would have been to dress in a particular way. Some of them would be simply that we would do what is required in terms of our job spec, in terms of what educators would do, what they have to do, what is expected of them. But the going forward and going that extra mile where teachers, other educators, they normally do that, Natalie. It is very difficult for them to do that at this point in time, because if they're feeling disrespected, they're feeling as if they are not valued, then how can they go out there and you are expecting them as the employer to give 100%, and sometimes even more than that, because educators, teachers, sometimes they dip in their own pockets and they purchase things for children on certain days. If you don't have a pencil, you don't have a meal. That is what we do in loco parentis. We are the parents who are in the schools taking care of the nation's children. And if it is that they're to be valued, then why does the employer not see us as valuable? I asked that question today. Thank you.
And I must also ask, we're talking about tutor and, of course, the salary agreement update for your members. Let's look at the perspective that the general public has of tutor. Many times when we hear about tutor, it's mainly tied to money. It's mainly tied to salary negotiations. And while that may be a major component of your organization's representatives, what else does tutor do for its members?
I love that question, Natalie. I love it. Tutor is not just a trade union. Tutor, that is why our name indicates that we are an association. What we do goes far beyond just negotiating terms and conditions of employment. We provide opportunities for our members to develop themselves, develop their skills, better their skills, so that they can deliver to the nation's children the best teaching learning process and experience possible. So during this vacation, we had Tutor had something called the Summer Institute. It was a 2-week program in collaboration with the Canadian Teaching Federation. That's a body that comprises over 3,000 educators in Canada. So they collaborated with Tutor, and we had a 2-week program. So you had educators taking 2 weeks out of their vacation. 2 weeks. They had to pay a minimal fee, of course, which really just covered their meals. Tutor covered everything else because that is what we do. We invest in our members. So Tutor runs these programs from time to time. So that one would have gone for a period of 2 weeks. We also hosted the Caribbean Union of Teachers executive meeting at the Cascadia Hotel. So we also bring regional institutes and organizations and like bodies just like us together so that we can treat with matters of education. So we have our first vice president, Mr. Adish Dwarka. He and his team, they normally go to schools on a weekly basis and they provide professional workshops in topics such as mental health, professional etiquette, preparing for promotion. We have that program called Preparing for Promotion. That one is one that is extremely sought after. Whenever it is advertised, it is always oversubscribed. When I say oversubscribed, you have over 300 persons trying to break down the door at Tutor to get into that program, because what it does, it prepares them for the interview. And 99%, I can say clearly, lucidly clear at this point in time, that 99% of the persons who participate in that, when they go to the interviews in Teaching Service Commission and the Ministry of Education, they are successful. So Tutor provides that mechanism for its employees, right? For its membership, sorry, not employees, it's membership. We ensure that they are at the top of their game. And it is, like I said, we are much more than just a trade union. Thank you.
And I want to thank you for sharing with us the updates, and we look forward to receiving more updates, whether it's from you or from the Tobago Tutor representative, because I think it's very important that the public also be aware of what Tutor is doing for its members, and of course how, whether it's salary negotiations, professional development opportunities that are provided for teachers, because as the general public, we all pass through schools. We have children, we have, whether it's a niece, nephew. So we are closely connected to our education system as members of the public. So it's always a pleasure to have you or, anybody from your team and the Tobago representative spend time with us and, of course, share. So this morning, we thank you for your time.
Thank you for the opportunity. And if you just allow me 1 second, just to say, it would be remiss of me not to say thank you to the Division of Education Skills and Innovation for the opportunity that we normally have on a monthly basis to meet with them and deliberate on matters specific to Tobago. And our Tobago officer, Mr. Dion Rodriguez, is the person who is at the helm of this, and he is very passionate about what he does, and he represents Tutor in all the ways we would want him to. So just wanted to say that. Yes, and a special good morning to Mr. Rodriguez and the rest of the executive on the Tobago side of Tutor. Appreciate it. So viewers, our show has come to an end. This is all the time we have this morning. And as usual, it's my pleasure to spend my Friday morning with you. I hope it's a pleasure as well on your side. So remember that we are here Monday through Thursdays, whether it's the morning show or GMT. All the action is here, right here on Tobago Updates Television. So remember, the weekend begins today. Be safe, and yes, you are your brother's keeper. So let's look out for each other, not just this weekend, but every day. And that's all the time we have. The energy fill the skies. I say thanks a favor to wake up and